My wife was paralyzed for 8 years. Then I played our wedding song. My wife, Anna, had always been the kind of person who filled a room without even trying. She laughed loudly, hugged tightly, and danced like the world would end if she stopped. But 8 years ago, a car accident changed everything. The doctors said spinal trauma, permanent damage, unlikely to move below the chest again. I still remember the way she stared through the hospital window while they explained it. It was the only time I had ever seen her truly silent. We adjusted, or at least tried to. I became her hands, her driver, her caregiver, her everything. She kept smiling, but it never fully reached her eyes anymore. She stopped listening to music, stopped looking at her old dance shoes, stopped watching videos from our wedding. Every time our song came up on shuffle, she'd ask me to turn it off. She couldn't bear it, and honestly, neither could I. Our days became routine. Therapy, medications, doctor visits, long quiet evenings. Sometimes she'd apologize for things that weren't her fault. She'd whisper, "You didn't sign up for this life." And every time I'd remind her, "I signed up for you." But still, I could see the doubt building inside her. She was grieving the person she used to be. One night, after her therapy session went especially rough, I walked into our room and found her crying quietly, clenching the blanket in frustration. She didn't hear me at first. She just whispered to herself, "I miss who I was. I don't feel like me anymore." That broke something in me. I sat beside her and said the truth I'd been carrying. "I miss dancing with you every day." She looked at me like she couldn't believe I still wanted that with her. So on our anniversary a few days later, I planned something small. No decorations, no big reveal, just a moment. I carried her gently to the living room, set her in her chair, and dimmed the lights. She kept asking, "What are you doing?" But I didn't answer. I just pressed play. The opening chords of our wedding song floated into the room. Slow, warm, familiar. She froze. Her eyes filled instantly. "You still remember this?" she whispered. I laughed softly. "I remember every second." At first, she just closed her eyes and let the music wrap around her. Then something happened. Her fingers twitched. Not the random spasms from before. This was different, intentional, controlled. I froze, afraid to breathe. She stared at her hand like it belonged to someone else. Then her wrist moved, just a few centimeters, but after 8 years of nothing, it felt like watching a sunrise for the first time. She gasped, covered her mouth, and whispered, "Danny, did you see that?" Tears ran down her face. My own vision blurred. The therapist had mentioned that music sometimes woke old neural pathways, but no one expected progress after so long. Yet here she was, fighting her way back toward the surface. She lifted her left arm again. Slow and shaky, but real. A movement powered not by muscles, but by memory, emotion, love. I dropped to my knees beside her and held her hand like it was made of glass. "I'm right here," I said. "Take your time." She stared at her hand, then at me, and whispered, "I feel alive." For the first time in 8 years, she wasn't just surviving. She was reaching, trying, hoping. The song kept playing, filling the room with the echo of our first dance, the dance she thought she had lost forever. And then she said something I will never forget. "Maybe I can learn again, even if it's slow, even if it's different." I nodded, crying harder than I expected. "Then we'll learn together." That night, she didn't stand. She didn't walk. She didn't suddenly recover like a miracle movie scene, but she moved, and that movement changed everything. It was the beginning of her hope returning, the beginning of us beginning again. And as the song faded out, she smiled the same smile she wore on our wedding day. Soft, bright, alive. It reached her eyes.